Hey guys, what's up? So today I've got a 6.4.1 video with Iceman as the main boss. So I noted in my previous video that I'm going to be going and changing up the way these fights go, or how I'm going to record these videos. So I'm going to show a couple of the fights, show you guys what the nodes are, let you know, and then show you the boss, and hopefully they'll be a bit shorter. You'll be able to watch them, get a good idea of how it works. So the easiest path is the Thor, Spider-Man stealth suit, Rocket Raccoon, Vulture, Juggernaut, etc. The path that I'm going on, take the first portal and then it should take you there. So nodes on this path are Biohazard, Tunnel Vision, and Nano Plague. Biohazard is obviously 20% chance to get a bleed when you are hit, or a higher chance to get a block if you hit, or get a poison if you hit into the block. And then we've also got a bit of a harder node, in my opinion, is Tunnel Vision. So if you perform the same act twice in a row, you get a falter debuff, and then that has a 100% chance. That means you miss your next attack. So the easiest way to go is 3-hit combos. So just a medium, light, medium. So it's never the same attack in a row. And then obviously that makes it a bit easier. This is one of the harder sort of fights or one of the harder sets of fights leading up to the boss in the chapter, in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of Tunnel Vision. If you've got a Mist champ who's Biohazard, I know there's not many of them, but if you do, or who suits, who's double immune, that makes this whole quest a lot easier. But otherwise the 3-hit combos are sort of the way to go, with a few parry heavies in there as well. He's also got Nano Plague as a node, which makes it a little bit more difficult, because Nano Plague is obviously when a robot attacker would gain a poison, they instead get a shock. So you want to make sure that you're not hitting into the block at all. Otherwise you will, it doesn't matter who you're using, you will take some damage from that, unless they are not a robot. So poison immune and a bleed immune who's not a robot, somebody like Luke Cage, who's bleed immune. If you don't hit into that block, then you won't get that poison, and he works fine. Robots also work fine if you don't hit into the block. So the main, the key to take into all these fights is don't hit into the block, Biohazard champs, and 3-hit combos. If you do that, you should be, you should be loving life. It should make it a lot easier. But like I said, I struggled a bit with this one. But once you get used to it and you get your practice in, as I said with the rest of the videos, practice does make perfect. You will be able to ace these fights a lot quicker. I wasn't really used to this Falter debuff, this Tunnel Vision, so I struggled a lot at the beginning. However, once I got used to it, as you'll see in this fight, this was after a lot of attempts, so don't think I didn't manage to do it first time, but I got used to it, and then went from there. So these are the few of the fights that are on the path, and then coming up, best champs for these fights are obviously usual. So Human Torch is really good with 10 plus temperature. He won't miss. He avoids miss. Emma Frost can work because she's obviously double immune while in her shield phase. Ghost, dashing back and phasing. Colossus, double immune. Warlock, double immune. Ultron, any robot. Nimrod works. You've just got to make sure you're not hitting into that block if you take robots. But like I said, just practice these fights. They will become a lot easier. You will get used to it. Any champ can be taken in who is double immune or works for Biohazard. But now we'll skip some of those fights. Like I said in my previous video, we'll be trying out a new format, a couple of the fights to give you an understanding of how it works, so you can see it in 1 speed instead of sped up, and then the boss fight. The boss fight is Iceman. So first thing to note before you go in to Iceman is that you go in with a Coldsnap immune champ. So a Warlock obviously works really nicely. Ghost can work. Human Torch can work. Corvus can work because he does a lot of damage, or somebody who you're willing to take who rides the damage that he gives. So he will obviously do some amount of damage. However, it won't take you down completely, and then if you don't get hit again, he won't put a cold snap on you. So the best way to go about this is obviously a warlock, perfect for this fight, does so much damage. But you can also sort of ride the damage. Like I said, if you've got somebody like a Rintra would work, because he can, you know, take that damage with a large health pool. If you've got 100% most champions will be able to sort of ride it as long as you don't get hit again. Nodes on Iceman are protection shielding, so if he would lose more than 4% of his health, he gains, that damage is capped, and then he gets a protection, and the protection will shut down, and then you can do a lot more damage. You've also got his energy attacks do 40% more damage, and then Matador, which is quite a common theme, as you'll see that this starts to sort of grow, and it becomes a lot more common in future fights. That's when if he gains a bar of power, or, you know, we as the attacker gain a bar of power every time he throws a special attack. And then he's also stun immune, and he has a heal block debuff. So, you know, the fight is quite tricky, but if you get used to it and you have a cold snap immune champion, it's not too tricky. You will be able to take him down relatively easily. Once you go, like obviously you'll see here with the phase on Kitty Pryde, I'm able to sort of tank some of that damage. She doesn't take it, and I can start going to town on Iceman and do as much damage as I can. Let me know what you guys think of these videos. Have you, or this video in particular, do you like this new format where you see a couple of the fights and then the boss fight, or would you prefer to sort of go back to how it was when I was showing you all of the fights and all of the paths? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, do subscribe, and then I'll see you guys in 6.5 or 6.4.2. Have a good day.